Welcome back to another day on the ranch. Today we are using milk as fertilizer. I had the idea a while back and then I used the internet to confirm my ideation. And milk, because of its raw nutrients, is very good as fertilizer.
Raw milk.
Raw milk, yes. It's got all those good probiotics, all that good bacteria in there. We're going to go spray this on the pastures. Obviously, with this sprayer, this is just like a little 2 or 3 gallon sprayer that we bought, I don't know, a few years ago. Haven't used it, but it's cleaned out good. So threw some milk in there, added a little bit of sodium bicarbonate, aka
baking soda.
And so yeah, we're gonna take it up, we're gonna spray it, and we're gonna do majority of the front pasture, but then I also want to do a few spots kind of in some of the other pastures. That way we can see over the next few weeks kind of how those areas that we sprayed looks compared to other areas.
The cats love the raw milk.
Yes, they do. So that's what we're doing today. We're gonna take this. We already added 2 gallons of milk and 1/3 of an ounce of sodium bicarbonate.
Okay, so where do you want to spot treat first?
I'm not gonna use a whole gallon on.
Well, you're supposed to use 3 gallons on an acre.
3 gallons on an acre.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about doing a huge area. This is going to be a long, tedious.
Well, if we see results, then we will buy a broadcaster.
Correct.
For probably the golf cart, because it's lighter weight for running it on the pastures versus the tractor. I also think, I have to read again, but I thought he had mentioned that it is ideal if it rains after you do it.
Because it'll basically take everything that's on the stems and the leaves and take it down into the soil more effectively.
And it's raining on and off all day today.
Yeah.
And some tomorrow,
like,
I think.
If you lime, right? Lime.
Yeah, you want it to rain.
If you lime, you don't want to put any animals on it until after it rains, because all that is just sitting on the stems and the blades of grass. Whereas once it rains, it takes all that, pushes it down into the soil, so they're not just straight consuming that.
So horse pasture is the first like full pasture I want to do. This is the front one. I gotta say though, a pasture's ability to recover is pretty impressive. So you can see where these like tire tracks are. This whole path here was just all dirt. There was no grass. But the horses will move here first. They're in that back pasture. They'll move here first after this gets preferably to like 6 to 8 inches.
So right now we're behind the house in like the north side pastures.
These are all of our crappy pastures where we put the cows the majority of winter.
Yeah, this is where we had them for quite a while, just because all of this is really rocky. There's never been good quality hay that was hayed on any of this back here. Really, that hill on that side and then the main pasture up there is the only place
to fix these fields, but it's just so rocky. So we were like, well, let's run the cows through them, let them poop a lot on it. Yep. Because cows can help naturally break it down.
And add a layer of basically topsoil.
Yeah, essentially. And we heavily grazed them on this to the point that like they probably ate a little more than they should. Oh yeah. But they were already crappy pastures, so it wasn't much we were gonna ruin. That's
why we put them back here in the winter, because I mean, we couldn't do too much damage to them because they weren't in great shape to begin with. And so they were getting hay the entire time they were back here. And so right now we were just walking through, spraying the milk like we did in that front pasture, and we started to notice some things. There were some spots of really like fresh green grass, like right here. So look at all that nice new green growth. You notice anything else about it? All this is hay. This is where we threw a bale of hay. So this is where they ate hay. You can see every spot where they got a bale of hay, right there, there, up here, over there. I mean, everywhere they got hay has this new growth. And that's one of the benefits of doing hay in the winter, because that hay has seeds in it. And so all those seeds got spread around where they were eating that hay. So I'd read about that being a benefit of giving hay in the winter, you know, and just rolling out bales of hay
and
instead of just
moving where you put it.
Right, and moving, not always putting it in the same spot, because if we put the hay bales, either a round bale or square bales, in the same spot every day, it's gonna become a mud pit, because they're gonna be there every day at the same spot, trampling that ground and just making it real muddy and killing everything around it. Where when you start to spread it out, now they're not staying in one spot, and so they're trampling the ground more evenly. They're not killing all the grass in one particular area, and we get benefit of that. So all those seeds that are in the hay bales get spread on the ground when that hay gets spread out, and they're not going to eat every ounce of hay, which isn't a big deal. Sure, you may not be getting the most bang for your buck in terms of what they're actually consuming, but you get this benefit. You get the seeds, and then also anything they don't eat.
Seed is expensive.
Seeds are very expensive.
I wish there was a way to calculate whether it actually is a
calculate?
loss. Whether it actually is a loss versus like reseeding every year.
No.
I would think it'd be way cheaper to just do the hay.
Yeah. And so this is, like I said, this isn't something that I had really thought about beforehand, even though I had read about it before. But now seeing it firsthand, like, hey, here we go. Here's a nice fresh green patch. There's more down there. There's another one back there. There's more all the way up there. And the water was somewhere in here too. And also they would run along this fence line up and down. So that is a little more trampled. And unfortunately that's gonna be the case in some areas if they're in too long. Now that's another reason why in growing seasons we're doing intensive pasture management. So with the intentional grazing, and like intensive, not intentional, the intensive grazing, yes, it is intentional, but it's intensive in that you're only keeping the animals on there for 24 hours roughly max. That way they're not really trampling anything down. They don't make paths like that where they're just constantly moving back and forth on it. They get one small area, they stay there for 24 hours, and then they get moved. Some people do even 12 hours, and that really just depends on how many animals you've got, how much land you've got, and how much effort you put in.
And how intensive of the grazing
right.
you're doing.
If you do slightly larger, you know, they can stay on it for a day.
Guineas, I swear.
And I've pretty much been doing 24 hours. But again, in the winter, if we try to rotate them through all of the pastures in that same fashion, the grass is not growing quick enough for them to be able to have a true recovery period. And so that would actually make those pastures suffer, which is why we've kept them on these back pastures, which are not nearly as good at this point in time, with the hope that, hey, they're gonna be on there longer, they're gonna poop more there, they're gonna get the hay back there and spread that seed. So I'm really looking forward to coming into springtime and summer and see how everything does. But yeah, I mean, this was our first winter with livestock, like grazing in such a fashion. I mean, that first year was just one horse and one cow. Yep, so you see that fresh green right there.
This pasture has had less time of them off it,
right,
versus that one. But I brought you over here to discuss what we're doing to actually get grass in our backyard, because Ryan can flip the camera over there. There is nothing.
We've got no grass.
There was never really any grass here. This is where our septic field is, and so obviously it was all torn up. But through the winter we had pigs in here that are pasture pigs, but they need big pastures to not do damage. And so between them and the goats, like, everything's gone. We're gonna take the 3 Premier one, we're gonna put one around this coop and cut out a hole, something. Might just drop another T-post and just open the fence, potentially. And then take our 2 other ones and run it as much as we can here. And we're gonna move everyone back here while we heavily seed that. That's the plan. Sound good?
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll move everybody back here. Well, the pigs are not coming back here, so it should not get as destroyed.
Pigs are going, down there.
Yeah.
What kind of seed are we putting back there? Hey girls!
Rain at 5 and thunderstorm at 7.
Oh. Okay. How's Grandma's Grandpa's?
Good.
That's good.
That's all we did.
Did you have fun?
And we played with Star Wars for like 20 minutes. In Playmobil.
It's time to let them watch the Star Wars movies again. They're a little older, they'll remember them and get into them.
So today, I'm going to show you how I clean out the bantams run. Well, they're eating yogurt. They have yogurt right now. Here's the bantams. Hi, here's a rooster. So it's this dirty. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to clean this out. How can I stand it up, Mommy? And over here, you have 2 eggs. I put it further away. That's splashy. Ari, can you hold the camera again? It depends on how much poo-poo they've done. It always takes at least 20-30 minutes. Did it crack? Maybe. It's right there. There's one. The chickens in the other run like keeping their roost spots dirty. They like keeping theirs clean. These guys began, I think, like January 17th. Somewhere in the teens. Yeah. Sweet. It was on a Saturday. Buckbeak is one of our goats that is just sitting here sticking. Yeah, this is not a video on the goats. No. It's a video on the bantams. They're goats. But he was just sticking his nose. Oh. Also, there's chickens you can see. Sometimes I'll bring there's guineas. Sometimes I'll bring some to scrape off all this poo, but today I didn't. There, you're not showing the goats. No, I'm showing all the chickens, dude. No, you were showing the goats. Look, I'm showing the chickens. You're getting a goat head. It doesn't matter, it's just Ginny. So, Ginny's not a bantam. Yeah, Ginny's a bantam. So yeah, and we have one right here. Ari, show them here. Right here. This is our non-bantam. This big one right here, that's not a bantam, but the other chickens are being rude to her and she loves humans. So she likes spending time with them, not always being picked up though. And so she just put her in here and she'll probably stay here for the rest of her life. She'll be in here with friends, friendly friends. So yeah. Yeah, I'll stand up. There's 2 bucks out. No, there's not. Yeah, there is. Mama just brought the other buck out. Why'd you bring the other buck out? You can show Thor. There's Thor over there. Thor. He's guarding the other chickens right now. He's doing his job. He doesn't just guard the chickens. What? Does not just guard the chickens. He's guarding the chickens though. Well, he doesn't only guard the chickens. So now, pour the shaving. And so, after we pour the shavings, the next bucket after we spread them out. Yes, I do. It's low on battery. It's gonna die soon. Now? Soon. We're done. Here's our rooster. You already showed him. Karen. That one right there. This is the one I think might be a rooster. This baby. It's not a baby. There's Eve. Adam and Eve. This is the friendliest. Splash. Sometimes she's a bit flaky. Splashy. She's a good girl. She's definitely the friendliest one.